Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Aaron Herman. How do you find the best kosher restaurants? With the opportunity to speak with the restaurant guy, Elan Kornblum, about his new app in the kosher restaurant industry. Let's take a closer look. Kosher restaurants are unique, and a lot of people are trying to find the best of kosherness in their neighborhoods. And with technology, you're able to facilitate really from ordering to the restaurants around you. Talk a little bit about why you developed an app, for your Great Kosher Restaurants.
All right, so I started this about 10 years ago in terms of the magazine. Thank God, people still love it. People still read it, especially the Jewish crowd on Shabbos, and they want to look at it. They want to hold a magazine. But there's no question. Obviously, we all know the internet, social media, phones are really what the future is. People are always, having their phones in their pockets. Basically, they're looking, for the restaurant, whether it's a phone number, an address, a little bit more. So obviously, it was a progression, and there are several apps out there in every industry. So what we've kind of taken is our popular website, which is GreatKosherRestaurants.com. Also, it's been around for 10 years. It gets about 1 million hits a year between the regular version and the mobile site. But we've been asked obviously by hundreds of people, when are you coming out with an app? When is the app coming? So it really was obviously demand. There are some other apps out there, but what we did with the magazine and the website and with the app is something different from what everyone else has been doing. Is where it's not just a name, address, phone number. That's all you get. With us, we have pictures and menus and links and make reservations and ask the restaurant guy and contact the restaurant. And there's so many different features that we have with the app that kind of comes along with the website. We've now just moved it into the app, and there's going to be so many different things that we're going to be building on the app. Because we understand that people have that convenience of having the phone with them all the time. They can do a search by location and by cuisine and all that. So we certainly have all the restaurants around the country. So
one of the great things that I liked about the app is you mentioned the pictures. A lot of people when they're making that decision of should I go meat or dairy, like what's the ambiance, like you get that sense of like it's not like a dungeon, or maybe if you're looking for a quick bite. That says like I'm in and I'm out. It's a really important part of the sort of decision process for a lot of people.
No question. We always say we kind of have a peek into the window of the restaurants, where I know not everyone can go to the restaurant and see what it looks like. A lot of these restaurants are in the background where it's not on the street and you can't drive by and kind of look and see what it looks like. So with the pictures, that's what makes us special. That's what makes us unique. It's the pictures. It's the taking the restaurant and then magnifying it in terms of letting people know exactly what they can expect. Whether it's the specialties, whether the little bit about the background about the chef and the owner. So what we have with the app is we have over 1,500 restaurants that we have listings for. But obviously with our featured listings that's what our magazine is about. This is what our website is about. Is we take about 200, 250 of the top kosher restaurants and we really magnify in terms of giving them all the information that anyone can need, with obviously hours and supervision, but really get into full menus, and they can make a reservation, and they have links to their Facebook page, and really dive into the crux of what every restaurant is all about and what you can expect. So that's what kind of makes us different. Is it's not just a name, address, and listing.
One of the things that you have is ask the restaurant guy,
Right.
And the first thing is, how did you come up? Obviously, you've been doing this for a number of years. You're the restaurant guy. You've judged cholents and cook-offs and all the different stuff. What is it you to be a restaurant guy?
So that kind of just grew into it. When I first started this, 10 years ago, and in the first couple of years, I didn't, do anything in terms of, coining the phrase restaurant guy. But people kept saying to me, "Oh, you're the restaurant guy. Oh, yeah, you're the restaurant guy. You do the magazine, right? You're the restaurant guy." And then just stuck. And I'm like, this is kind of cute. It's a nice moniker that I would like to be known as. I think hopefully I've earned the fact that I've been doing this for a decade, and I've gone to about 500 kosher restaurants. I've pretty much almost eaten at most of them, and people always say, "How are you not 400 pounds?" And well, thank God I'm not near that at all. I could probably go to the gym a few more times, but certainly, and I try to pace myself. But certainly, I kind of are a liaison between the restaurant owner and the customer. I kind of have both perspectives. So I try to have that duality of kind of speaking to the restaurants on a daily basis, speaking to customers on a daily basis, kind of get the pulse of the restaurant industry, and kind of make suggestions, give recommendations, but also any problems that any customer has with the restaurant, they know that they can email me. I'll send it to the owner. It'll get resolved. Don't go on Yelp and start blasting the restaurant without.
That's actually funny that you mentioned Yelp. Is that a lot of kosher restaurants are terrified of Yelp because it basically becomes this opportunity for people to leave negative feedback, which bottom line affects the restaurant. And owners and managers are very conscious of this and trying to figure out ways to incentivize people not to do negative comments, even work through processes. What have you seen, I guess, in the market in terms of how managers and owners are, relating to this new age, especially with your app?
Yeah, again, so communication is the key. Like I said, it's very one-sided. If you're going to go on Yelp and you're going to bash the restaurant for the one time that you went, you don't know what the problem was. You don't know if the waiter, God forbid, had a tragedy, or the restaurant was backed up and something that was just makes sense. Obviously, you want to go to the manager right there and tell them the problem, because once you leave the restaurant, there's really not much they can do. Maybe they'll invite you back, but if you're at the restaurant and you say, this was cold, or this wasn't cooked right, or I'm waiting a long time, they can do something. They can make it, they can bring it back to the kitchen. They can give you something like an appetizer or a drink on the house while you're waiting. They can speed it up a little bit. So, that's what you can do, and that's really what the owners are hoping from the restaurant. That's what we're trying to let people know about is, speak up when you're there. Don't do it when you're 2 hours, after the restaurant. So management is important. The training of the waiters is huge. I think more restaurants should do that. And I think that just being upfront and communicate and just being a mensch.
Sure.
When you're at a restaurant, these people are working hard. Usually they're working just on tips. So, just be patient, and if there's a problem, just say something. And that's the best thing.
So you go around the country working with owners and managers of restaurants. What has surprised you? I mean, there's openings and closings, it seems like, every other month.
Absolutely. Almost every week.
Every week.
I send out a newsletter, and I'm amazed how many openings there are every week.
Yeah, and so one of the things that I guess is the challenge for restaurants is keeping, obviously, revenue. There's different ways now. Even using your mobile app, it's not like a definite thing like, oh, we're going to get customers. What have you found something like really interesting, over the last 2-3 months in the restaurant industry, the kosher restaurant industry?
There are definitely trends. Maybe they're fads. Maybe they're here to stay. Obviously, sushi, it's been around for years now. It's been around for thousands of years, but in the kosher market, it's been around maybe 10 years when it started, and obviously 5 years ago where it really ballooned, and now it's here to stay. But I see barbecue restaurants opening up a lot now in Miami, in Crown Heights. There's a barbecue restaurant, a smokehouse. So that's kind of happening now. Burgers, gourmet burgers are big now.
It feels like on the Upper West Side, there's like a burger invasion. I've never seen So many burger
Oh,
places.
everyone's on the bandwagon.
It's
Amsterdam
amazing.
Burger, Gotham Burger, Prime Burger. So you have that's people want to kind of take burgers that everyone can make, but trying to dress it up and with different toppings and make it cool and unique.
What
So
about what about like dairy restaurants, especially on the Upper West Side, where a kosher pizza store just can't survive? Why do you think that is?
it's really, I don't know. That's really weird. That's because Upper West Side, you have the yuppies, you have people working, and you have people who just want to grab a bite. There are not so many families as opposed to in Brooklyn, and I'm surprised about that. I'm surprised why pizza stores, bagel stores aren't really making it in Upper West Side. Maybe they want to when they go out to eat, they want to the burger, they want the steak, and you have Talia's, and you have Prime Co, and and you have a bunch of different restaurants. So, yeah, there's some things that just whether it just doesn't make sense, but it's you follow the leader. If burgers are big, you keep on doing burgers. So it'll be interesting to see. There's ups and downs, there's peaks and valleys, and we'll see what happens when with what happens in the next few years.
So I have a big question for the restaurant guy.
Okay.
I myself, I'm known for my cooking delicious meatballs, right? And over the last 2 years, there's been an emergence of a meatball shop that now I think has 4 locations. One just opened up on the Upper West Side. Do you think there's a market for a kosher meatballs store?
It could be. I think that you need to probably do a little bit more, than just meatballs. Although, because again, burgers you can do so many different. I'm sure you probably can do more with meatballs as well. But I don't know if it's just meatballs. I don't know if you saw there was like a restaurant show on the Food Network. Spicy meat. I don't know if were you watching that show where they had like a
Yeah.
startup and this guy had like spicy meatballs or meat.
There's so much you can do. There's not
Yeah,
just one. There's the different
yeah.
types of meat. There's turkey and this and that. But when I saw this, especially the opening on the Upper West Side, I was like, this might be the time. And and that's why I'm asking the restaurant guys.
It could be. I'm looking for more ethnic restaurants. Actually, I'm looking for more. I know Shalom Bombay, which I know you're a huge fan. Unfortunately, closed in Manhattan. They have one in Teaneck, but I'm looking also for some ethnic. Like, how cool would be some Korean kosher restaurant, or you have Thai restaurants, but more like that, more Vietnamese. It's tough. I know it's going out of the box, but I want to see more of those kind of restaurants with different ingredients, nothing we've ever seen before. But certainly, spaghetti and meatballs is American, is in Italian, but as American as can be. So I would go for that. I like meatballs as much as the next guy.
Going back to your app, it's available on Android and Apple.
Yeah, we just
And
got the BlackBerry also. You can get it. So we'll have a QR code, and on Amazon you can probably get it, but on BlackBerry as well. But certainly Android and iPhone, it's really readily available.
and so one of the features on the app is that you can actually reserve a table.
Right.
How fast is that process?
It just basically you make a reservation. It gets emailed to the owner within seconds. Usually it's a receptionist or someone that gets the email, and they just get an email back confirming the reservations. I wouldn't do it 10 minutes before you're about to go into the restaurant, just because not everyone is at their computer or at their phone every second. But certainly if you do it in the morning, if you do it several hours beforehand, you can make a reservations. And what's nice is that you can put in a request if you want to sit at a certain spot on a corner. You want to have like a birthday cake. You want to have a surprise. So it allows you to just make sure there's no question marks. You're exactly what you want. How many people? What time? What day? What your requests are. And it's a good way just for the restaurant owner just to see it and confirm, and you can just be in touch. So there's a lot of different features we have, that people can contact me, and they can download all the menus. They can search by zip code with a 50-mile radius. So we're going to be adding a lot of different stuff with videos and more social media stuff, and so there's a lot of cool stuff. And I would definitely download the app, Great Kosher Restaurants, and you'll love it.
As you can see, the kosher restaurant industry is constantly evolving, and with mobile technology, you can find out about your favorite restaurants with the touch of the button. This is Aaron Herman, and thank you for watching.